Okay. Oh man, that's an interesting
Hello.
question, Sephiroth. That's so low. Okay, so good morning, everybody. This morning we had Russell planned. He had some stuff happen. I think he got abducted by aliens. Not really sure. We're in the process of rescheduling him, so we will have him on the show pretty soon. Just not this morning. And so we spent the morning chatting with a few of our very helpful testers for the Tapper app and having really really amazing conversations about the details we want to have at launch and balancing some things. And it's just been really constructive. So huge thank you to the people that are helping us do that. It's we're going to start in a much better position with having had your help. Okay, so this morning, we're getting really close to having this thing at launch. It's going to be we think really good. I personally think very very good. I'm excited about it. I've been playing around with it for a few days now, and it's I think a very strong addition to the space from what I've seen. Right, there's been a lot of thought put into it. There's some novel elements to it that I think are going to be really interesting for people at the beginning. Never mind what we have planned for later on. So we wanted to kind of sit down and have a brainstorm about how to make this like absolutely rip roaring fucking massive, right? And we've got a bunch of ideas about that, but I'd love to see in the comments anybody that's done combat, enhancer combat, whatever the frick that thing's called. I always get the name wrong. Like all these really big ones. What do we think caused them to become hyper successful, getting into the tens of millions of users? And we've had similar discussions before, but we kind of wanted to open the floor and have another brainstorm about it, just because we're getting close, right? Like we're going to have this launch.
Yeah.
And again, like we've got some a bunch of ideas for sort of what the next sort of 6 weeks looks like. But yeah, like how do we make it rip roaring, holy fucking shit, massive, without using magic? But if anybody has magic, I'm not against that. If you
I
have
thought
it,
you had magic.
I do not, sadly.
Oh man, now I'm really disappointed. I
Yeah, all I
really
have
thought
is
you had magic.
caffeine, which for me is the same.
Okay.
Compared to my
Okay.
baseline, it's magic, but my baseline without coffee is right next door useless. So anyways, TC, thanks man. From what I've seen so far, it's going to be so successful. I agree. So I guess one of the things we've been talking about in the I think that can have the biggest impact. We've got some friends in the space that are people that we can actually reach out to that have 100,000, and I don't know what Wuffy's at right now, but like some ridiculous number, like compared to where we're at right now. Anyway,
I
like
think
they're
Wolfie is at 500,000 now.
500,000. That's
Yes,
nuts,
500,000.
right? So that to me is our quickest path to achieving some initial momentum, right? If our goal is like million plus, which of course it totally should be, for me, like how do you get that initial growth curve to be very very exciting, right? And of course we have our community. I think we'll be hitting 1,000, maybe 3, 4, 5,000 relatively quickly, right? But how do we get maybe more relationships that can help us to promote other projects that we really like in the space, but maybe launch us into an even higher stratus.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting because I don't know if you've seen the Woffy Tapper today. They introduced the games, so now you have mini games on the Woffy Tapper, just like Hamster Combat did. It's a different game, of course, right now. But I think that for Woffy, it makes sense. Not for us. I think we're never going to introduce mini games because my idea or the idea we have is that our application should integrate DeFi, should integrate launchbacks, should integrate meme tokens, should integrate farms, should integrate swapping, trading, and so on. So I think that we will. That's not a path we will follow in the future, I think.
Yeah, I
Although you
right,
never
like I
know
can
how things
right. If somebody was like,
evolve.
"Hey, we want to give you $100,000 to add this game to one of your pages," we'll be like, okay. But I mean, it's
Well,
not going to be on the, and maybe not too. Like I can
no,
totally see the
maybe
argument for not doing it.
not because okay, yeah, we could do that, but is there where we want to go? Are
Right.
we? Do you want to compete um, with Hamster Combat,
Yeah.
which
I mean,
already has
it's yeah.
more
I
than
think the
100 million users introducing games and competing with them? Maybe
it's
not. I
not
think
even necessarily like a competition thing. Don't get me wrong. Like that, I think that I'm not interested in that because where what you just said. Well, and so let me just drop it because I was
yeah,
really going to paint the potential. Who gives a fuck about games? The what you were saying, um, I think is so dramatically more interesting to me, and frankly, would be so much more thematically, sort of would make more sense for Hamster Combat if they had done this, right? But like we're in this boat where we've already got DeFi products we can hook it up to. We've already got an NFT platform we can hook it up to. Yada yada yada. Right. But I wonder
yeah,
if
exactly.
from a technical perspective, like Ton's going to have, more and more DeFi stuff. I'm sure that there's going to be in the same way that they've got those mini games. Like, how long is it unless they have it already, which is entirely possible, but how long is it before they have those kind of modules? And we're thinking about, branching out to Ton for Nifty Swap and Nifty Blocks or what have you, right? So we could have
Yeah,
native Ton DeFi apps that are in our system,
absolutely,
right? And
absolutely.
then,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
possibility indeed. Doing DeFi does not mean that we're going to do DeFi exclusively on Wax.
right.
The possibilities are endless. Wax is one of the supported platforms, the first supported platform,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that it's the only one.
And frankly,
Yeah,
like as a it shouldn't be the only one. Um, we want to be, we want to go out and get, millions of people or whatever. We wouldn't want to force them to only be thinking about Wax, right? We want to go to where, as a startup, as a business or whatever, like we want to reduce friction for users all the time, right? One of the things TC is kind of hinting at, we were sort of like looking at some of the things we have, and there's some real opportunity for onboarding in interesting ways, which is really what this is all about, right? Like the whole reason why I couldn't get tappers out of my brain and why, it's sort of coalesced as an interesting path for us to do things is that onboarded, we've never seen anything like it. Like the number of non-crypto people that are getting onboarded into the space via Hamster Combat is unheard of, by probably 3 orders of magnitude unheard of. It's fucking massive, right? So if we've got this ability to, bring people into an app that is interesting for them, they're kind of doing some things or whatever, and then they can get further advantage by, holding some Nifty Swap LP or, using some R1 token to do something in the app or whatever, right? Like all these things are things we can explore.
yeah, but I think that that's good for an initial step. But I think that this could really go further and be really integrated with DeFi. But yeah, that's only that's something that only time will tell if it's
Right.
feasible or not. I think that it will really depend on the amount of users, players, and the profile of these players.
Well, and how we can create gamified education paths, right? If people come in, I think about this a lot actually. So let's say we're at 1 million users, and it's just the way that it is right now, right? So like there's things you come in, you do some daily missions, you might be watching the show. We've maybe added the first few things, right? Like there's all the normal missions, you're getting points and you're doing stuff and you're getting your passive mining and you're doing your tapping, whatever, right? You're doing all those normal things. But we've added just one mission, right? Like own, $5 worth of a pair on Nifty Swap or something like that, right? Like have XYZ token, in that thing, and it can give you this other bonus. So like just gently out of the 10 things that you're thinking about for the 2-week season, one of them is this advantage that you don't have to do it, but like it's sitting there that you can do. And we could slowly just do that all the time until our user base is taken from, if our monthly, weekly user base, the people that are like kind of with us, right? If you're here after 2 weeks, chances are you're here for a while, right? So even if you're not in crypto, we can sort of be giving them an opportunity to do that. Never mind the fact that like we're talking about doing, not airdrops, but like whitelisted claims potentially every 2 weeks, right? So there's going to be that vested interest to sort of get a Wax wallet and be part of that ecosystem, even in that little basic thing, just because there's something of value that's sitting there that you kind of earned or whatever, right? That will start to lead people in, right? So with 1 million users, I don't know, 20% of them, 80% of them aren't in crypto yet. We can sort of like gently start leading them in to the space, and then whether it's Wax or Ton or like whatever's the frictionless way that we can get them into a DeFi experience. I mean, it gets that we were talking about like you were talking about training competitions, stuff like that. Like
yes, absolutely.
Just the number of possible things that we can do, even abstracted into the app. It might not even be connected to chain, right? You were talking about this a lot. And this blows my mind because it's a really good idea. You might own an NFT in your Tapper app or whatever. That just it exists out there, but you don't have a Wax wallet yet. It's just virtual in our space, right? You might be doing DeFi that's virtual in our space, so you can basically take your R1 points and convert them into R1 out in the on a blockchain somewhere or what have you, which lets us just sort of abstract away all of the necessity for people to do stuff until they want to cash out, right? And then of course there's pass to get a Wax wallet and do some other stuff. Yeah, it's there you go. Step around. I'm not a crypto guy. I'm just here for the games. Yay, Flip Tribes. By the way, we're talking to Tuttle right after this to finalize all the numbers and stuff for our first little mini season that'll start tomorrow on Flip Tribes. And basically, it's going to be can you compete with Red Scorpion and his brother? That's going to be my only challenge. It's gonna be interesting. Anyway, I've been ranting like a fucking lunatic because apparently the coffee's working. Juan, how do you feel?
Yeah, no, but I think that the main thing that we have to figure out is how to scale, how to really onboard an incredible amount of users, because that's what really determines what we can do and what we can really offer in the end.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree.
Right.
Getting getting to 10,000, 100,000, 500,000 users, like the number of things that we can do after that become kind of infinite. Like we can I think do really good there. So again, there's the partners that we have. That one thing I'm going to chat with Math, if you're watching, about that the Ton Nest thing. Like it's a little mentorship thing on Ton. I'd love for us to be part of that. So even just if we can go in and meet 10 other projects that are starting like this, because again, like I want guests for the show that are in that space and having fun with it or whatever, right?
Yes.
And, let's work our way up that chain.
That's really something we should do. We should start mingling in that ecosystem, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of interesting people that could join us and with whom we can partner. Yeah. And yes, by the way, we have to ask Danish Crypto. We need him. We need to be in touch with him.
Yeah, 100%. I'll message him right after the show. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use I have a little like pen and paper. Why? Because I'm such a freaking nerd, apparently. Fucking Danish.
Yeah.
And
definitely need him on board.
Yeah, and Maz gave me the link for that Nest thing. So maybe we can chat after this about.
Yes, definitely.
And yeah, Adrian would do this. I messaged Adrian already. He's gonna be testing with us probably by the end of the day, if not already. So
yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good calls. I'm curious, one, to see, so I think it's going to be relatively sticky. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about, which for me is really important, right? Like I want to sort of have, if we've got the 2-week seasons and we kind of know what they are, and you of course sort of establish all that stuff in advance, I think that's going to be good, from a messaging perspective. But just to see how sort of sticky in general it is, right? Like all plans are fantastic until contact with the enemy, right? So like the whole idea of just and really like the tester sort of responses have been really, really good. So I try to not think about is this just going to be naturally viral? Are people just going to naturally love this? Which frankly, they should. Like they really could. Like that's a thing that could happen, right? I always want to orchestrate, how are we getting this in front of the right, audiences, and are they as large as possible?
Yes, and I think that's really important, and that's something we'll have to see and we'll have to explore to see how to make that happen. Um, yeah, that's really interesting, and I think that we still have to see in the market a mini app that really adds value in the end, because I think, for example, that Hamster Combat has been such a or was, or well, it's still, although I think that people are losing interest now.
Yeah,
I think
I think
it
it's
was
still
a
massive.
huge success
Yeah.
because it came just after Dawn, after Notcoin, sorry, after
Right.
Notcoin. And of course, a lot of people received a nice airdrop because of that. And people thought, okay, let's do this because it will be interesting. But I think it's so big now that that we don't know how it will play out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that
But going
September
back to what you were saying,
26th is very interesting date, because we will really see something that can make or break a lot of Tapper games. And I think that with Launchbacks, with the Backs Tapper, we want to go beyond that, and not there will be airdrops, not only one airdrop but multiple airdrops ideally, and there should be more than that, and that more than that is the DeFi integration.
Yeah, even long term, like for the entire crypto industry, I think that it's like an interesting kind of thing, right? We've got the onboarding right next door to the kind of experience that is enduring and is frankly the volume sort of capital generating thing that's in crypto right now, right? Many orders of magnitude more than games, for example. And looking into the future too. The number of crypto transactions, I think, is still always going up. I think the number of integrations that will happen with sort of muggle economics, I think will still be increasing, and it might even be through stuff like this, right? Like there might be ways with the TON ecosystem where it becomes easier and easier to go from dollars or euros to NFTs and crypto. Right. So that the space between that and the ease of that might be really quick. And again, like we can give people the value first. I keep going back to this in my brain. The whole idea that, oh no, you own this NFT. Well, what if I want to, move it to a different Wax wallet? Well, then you need a Wax wallet. You need to move it from your kind of virtual wallet right? So like we have them doing crypto before they're doing crypto. Right. And then they have to kind of see the value, and the only time they really need to take that extra sort of crypto-y step is when they have something that they want to, sort of realize the value from, which is great, right? Like we're sort of offering in advance all of the value that could get them there.
Yeah, and that's what I would really like to see happening. That part is what I would really like to see happening. How all of this really is integrated into a Telegram app.
Yeah, well, and gamified, right? I mean, we're sort of teaching people about teaching people about DeFi and crypto through gamified incentives, which we know this works. Like in other like this is a thing that has functioned in so many different places. So yeah, I mean, obviously I'm excited about it. I think it just the initial stuff that we have set up is going to be good for us to get started, good for us to sort of flesh things out and make sure we're moving, and then get in front of the right people, get on a good growth curve that we're excited about, and then start thinking about how we want to MVP and add these features in, so that it's like a gamified DeFi experience, the meme coin mogul experience.
Yeah, maybe something like that, indeed.
Yep. Shitcoins.
Although I think it should really go beyond meme coins only. I think that meme coins, totally it's cool, but it should go beyond that.
Yeah, 100%.
I really think it should go beyond.
yeah, I mean, there's no reason to hamper ourselves, especially like if we're gonna have a real DeFi experience, right? Like if there's some AI startup on Ton or whatever, and it becomes like a really sexy tradable thing, if we're on Ton, why wouldn't we have that as a tradable pair or whatever, right? Like I think it as a DeFi platform, it only makes sense for us to follow the volume, frankly, right? I mean, just from a startup perspective, you do that, but then you're also adding value to anybody that's in the app because you're bringing that ability to do things that lots of other people are doing. So that's that kind of energy creates a bunch of volume, creates a bunch of volatility, and that's where anybody that wants to trade DeFi as a thing, or just have liquidity and want to experience some rewards from the volume. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm gonna drink some more of this really weird Oreo coffee.
Bitcoin.
Yep.
Bitcoin price pump. Oh, that's what we need to see, but it's not happening. It's not happening yet.
It's like, hey, I just go onto YouTube channels and I say Bitcoin price pump because maybe then it'll happen. Which honestly is as good a theory as I've ever had. So
yeah.
Let me see. I was gonna try and find it.
Do you know what has me very sad is the price of WOF. It's really, yeah. I don't know if you have checked it in the last couple of days, but it has massively crashed, which makes me wonder what's going on. Yes, absolutely. I think that only from yesterday, it's a 26% drop. And it was already declining. I think that from the all-time high, it was already like 30% down. And now from yesterday to now, 26% down. It's not neglectable.
Right. I mean, that's interestingly, I think Bitcoin's not down by that much, but it's down considerably over the last I guess 10 days or so, right? And so again, like Bitcoin goes down, it's usually the altcoins will suffer more.
Yeah, of course, and meme coins will suffer even more. That's how it is. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's, man, thinking about what TC we were talking about with Max Payne. If I look at this, I don't even want to talk about this. If I look at the chart right now,
which chart?
I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart. I'll show you guys what I mean.
Okay.
Have you I showed you the Wall Street cheat sheet, right?
No, I don't know.
Cool. Let me do that. Let me start there. I think it'll give us some context. Okay. Let's see if this is big enough. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were talking about this, but like.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so here's the Wall Street cheat sheet. So you can kind of, anybody that's been in crypto for more than 10 minutes, certainly if you've been here for an entire crypto cycle, this starts to look very, very familiar, right? And if you're in any crypto community, you can feel it, right? And some of them will be going through their own waves sometimes, but in large part in crypto, like the general overarching feel tracks with this really, really well. Right. Yeah. So on the way up, you got optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. And like the euphoria, you can always see it. Oh my God, this is a paradigm shift. It's only ever going to go up ever. That's when to sell.
And
I hear it
absolutely.
Every cycle, I hear the same thing. No, it's just going to keep going up forever. Like, okay, yep. Now, do I perfectly sell every time I hear that? No, I don't. So fuck me. Yeah. So that complacency, we just need to cool off for the next rally. I mean, that's a tougher one. Because,
so where are we now, Corey?
So here's the thing. I think we're at anxiety.
You think we are at anxiety? Where
is
anxiety?
Right around here.
I don't.
Right down from complacency. Let me show you.
You think we are at anxiety?
Yeah, that's what
if
I'm
we
saying.
are at anxiety, then we are at a very bad place right now.
100%. That's why when I looked at the chart, I was like, oh, fuck. Because here, look at this. This is the longer term chart, but where do you think we're at? It's not Max Payne.
Yeah, but there your chart is, it's long-term chart, right?
Yeah, TC, same as it ever was.
Yeah. I hope we're not at anxiety, because
Me
that
too.
means we have a lot of down.
Yeah. I mean, this
a lot of space
you guys can't
to go
see this,
down.
but right around 40,000 is where it needs to drop to go back and start rallying like a crazy rally.
Yeah. Wow. I think if that happens, yeah.
I mean, we need to prepare for it. It's the long story short is it's who knows if it's likely or not. It's definitely possible.
Possible, right? Definitely.
Yeah, so we just need to prepare for that. And honestly, I think the path that we're on is the right one for that, right? I mean, we can the whole thing this is designed to do is to be attractive to non-crypto people, right? Like, if we get 1 million people, the whole point is if 100,000 of them are in crypto, that's perfect for us, right? It's like we can be showing people some fun and a good time and some value that way, in a way that doesn't give a fuck about the price of Bitcoin, right? Like, is everything going to go better when that stuff goes up? Yes, but like, we don't control Bitcoin, and we obviously
no, absolutely
right?
not.
I would like to.
Nobody does.
Right. So
maybe
it's I mean, who knows? Maybe the CIA is doing it. Maybe not. Who fucking knows?
Corey and the conspiracy theory.
You shush. I was just gonna say I have to punch myself in the face for using a conspiracy theory. I hate conspiracy theories, which is why it is entirely fair to punch me in the nards with that anytime I do it. Yeah, for sure. So I mean, like, we have to prepare for that being a possibility. And if that was a possibility, I think we're doing the right things to weather it. And again, like, it's going to require more patience and maybe even like more pacing, right? I saw some people in the Launchbags Telegram that are like want daily updates, and Anon apparently is off maybe doing something in Muggle Land. I haven't talked to them in a few days or whatever it is, but like they haven't responded in like a day or two or whatever. Like, oh my god, the sky's falling, guys. Like, if we're in this for the long haul, like, none of us are making money. Like, I'm making zero money. Anon is making zero money, right? We're going to update when we can update. And that's it, right? And there's other, there's projects that are updating every fucking 5 minutes or whatever, and that great for them. That's awesome. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. Not everybody wants to do that. And so, that's just going to be the way it is, right? Like, for me, the bear market is about pacing myself so I don't lose my mind and quit before things get interesting. This is it, right? It's like I'm gonna go as fast and as hard as my mental health can manage.
Yeah. Interesting view.
Things like what you guys are building will be perfect for a downturn and give something for people to do. Amen to that. Sorry, Juan, what did you just say?
I don't even remember.
Oh, it was a whole 15 seconds ago.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not.
Syndrome.
Did you say I was literally just gonna say, yeah, that happens to me all the time. So there you go. Yes, you have Corey syndrome. God damn it. At 2B channels, they introduced mini games, and many people thought it gave new players an unfair way to catch up. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know what the loop looks like. I'm assuming he's talking about hamster combat. I don't know what it looks like in Wuffy. Like, how is there sort of a ton of incentive to play the games, or did you look at that?
I don't know. I haven't seen that in detail. I kind of tried to gameplay like 10 seconds, got kicked out, and I had to do something with the treats to be able to continue. So I don't know. I have to dig deeper into how that works.
Okay, this might be a crazy idea. Yeah, during a bull run, everyone wishes they bought when everything was cheap. Well, here we are, and honestly, like, things might get more cheap. I have a little bit of powder dry, and I'm keeping it dry because I think I'm going to be able to pick up more in a few weeks. Anyway, we'll find out. I could be wrong. So the tapper, like the physical construct of that is you're coming into the app and you're going like this really fucking fast. And your wife laughs at you, or maybe it's just mine. Definitely mine. She laughs at me constantly.
So your wife is not tapping.
She's not tapping, no.
So you haven't been able to convince your wife, and you think that you're going to convince
I can
1
barely
million
convince my wife
human
that-
beings to
that-
tap in our.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll just quit. My wife isn't playing Hamster Combat. That means that there's like what, 250,000 people out there that could be in our market, and she's
Still
not
onboarded.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, there's out of 8 billion people, we're not going to get everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean,
for
it's
sure.
a valid challenge to figure out how to get her involved. Which is on my mind. So anyway, before you threw me under the bus again, you're going in and you're tapping, right?
Yeah.
What if there was a situation where, we want people to come in and do DeFi. We want people to come in and do, whatever we have going on there, NFTs or whatever happens to be sort of in the sort of the virtual space of the Bags Tapper app. What if every action that you take outside the Tapper also gave you points and burned through Tapper energy?
Every action that you take inside the Tapper?
Yeah, so you're not on the Tapper screen going, right? You're in the DeFi screen and you just clicked out, like you just do a buy order, and that basically is 300 tapping points or something, right? And it's actually taking out your energy or whatever. So you can't just spam or anything like that, right? So it's basically like the you can go and just tap meaninglessly over here, but if you have stuff going on over here, it's like tapping. Like you're in there, you're interacting, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Right?
Absolutely. That would be an interesting one indeed.
I mean, my wife still won't be interested in that, so fuck me, I guess. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, again, like I think once we have once we have this out there, and like even the testers, are having such interesting ideas, and it's they now see how, and I'm sure they knew this before, but we're seeing how easy it is to go from, okay, we need to solve this very isolated issue about this one thing that might be overpowered, right? And it can go in like 100 different directions, and like half of them are quite good, and you have to kind of pull everything back to go, okay, yeah, but like launch on Wednesday, right? Like what are we gonna actually do to solve the initial equations so that we can get to that point? And that, like, I'm getting excited because once we have that rolling, now we can start to explore what's the best way. And again, like for the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever the fuck it is, it's got to be all about user acquisition, not necessarily.
I always hear you talking about 6 months, but I think that if in 6 months we don't have something different, something really integrated with something, people would have gone away long. Because for me, if they didn't publish the 26th, September 26th as the date for the hamster, I would stop right now. I don't even, it's too long. I don't want to keep on tapping only. That's boring. That's if I do it for a goal, it's okay. But if you want to keep me on tapping, to give me something within a year, and that something will be worth what? $100, $200. So come on, fuck you. I'm not interested.
Let's have a little friend therapy. Let's have a little friend therapy session for a second. At no point did I say, hey, we should start and then do nothing fucking different for 6 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Sweet Jesus, brother of mine. But I like, again, you're while I'm recovering from being under the bus again. Your point's always well taken, right? Like that's why we have 2-week seasons. It's why
we need two different things, and
right.
But I think also it has to land in something different than tapping before 6 months, before whatever. Because if not, it's what's the interest on keep on tapping
100%
forever?
And really, like we have so many things to explore. I think like 6 weeks from now we could be putting in, maybe even sooner, right? Depending on how all this stuff goes, right? Like figuring out whatever we want to have as the initial sort of MVP challenge that is that other thing that really signals like this is attached to a launch platform. This is attached to DeFi. This is attached to NFTs, right?
Yeah.
We can communicate that with our missions and our actions. And there's no reason why we can't start doing that relatively soon. Like the block right now is get it complete, get it started, get the machine running, and then we can start strapping, rockets on the
it
car.
doesn't have to be a complete platform. It will be built and integrated step by step. It's not that like all functionality coming tomorrow, but what I mean is there has to be something that it's different and interesting for
and I think
people.
This fits into something that I've had a conversation with a few people about it, and I need to work on this more, but I think it speaks to the longer term thing, right? Like what we're really doing is we're and I think you've been the best for this, having a vision of what this can look like as something that's far more than a tapper, right? Like we're in this crypto industry. You're the CEO of this company that has a bunch of technology already in the crypto space, right? Like you add, a large amount of users, that integration becomes very, very interesting, right? So we're sort of creating the pipeline to do some really interesting shit. For me, I want to start thinking about, and I'm going to be thinking about this every day, but there's like the long-term story, right? And there's a version of the long-term story that is just, bags airdrop in the indeterminate future, right? And it's going to be massive and big, and it's going to be tons of people, blah, 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 right? So like that sort of longer term carrot that frankly, and like don't share this with anyone, but everybody in crypto is going to know this. Look at the projects that just promise shit over and over and over again and never deliver. They do very well. Yeah. I fucking hate that, but this energy is a real thing, right? So having that sort of vaguely described thing lets people kind of map on whatever they want to map onto it. So fine. But we've got this carrot. And again, to your point, eventually we have to announce the actual date because we want to kind of keep people around or whatever. So fine. We got that part of the long-term story, which is interesting. To me, it's not as interesting as we have this vision for a fully integrated app that takes everything that's good about crypto and everything that's good about gaming, and everybody, everything that's good about onboarding, muggles into one place where people are getting value every single day. They're getting more value every single couple of weeks. They're, getting, the ability to connect with different communities and be part of something that's long-term and that has this vision for this thing that, has the potential to become, a cornerstone of, a percentage of the economy of the planet, right? There's a big story, right? There's this thing that, we paint the picture of, there's user acquisition, fine. There's gaming, super fun. Mobile gaming is ridiculous. Like there's a lot of, I can see like a lot of old people will go into these apps that will never do anything except get them points, right? And they're just fucking tapping away, right? The whole 9 yards, like that. This is a real thing. Yeah. For whatever reason, us monkeys are sometimes attracted to, right? But then being able to make it, connected with a bunch of other things, I want to be at the start of that thing, right? So. The more we can talk about not only having the sort of longer term carrot and like things that are defined to keep, people like you, engaged in hamster combat or whatever, right? But like we throw one thing in that bags coming soon, and have, a vision for this is the first step of 10,000 that leads us to this place, this thing that, is the kind of maximalist version of what we've been sort of envisioning, right? That I want us to remind each other to get into that story more and more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Scrun. Story is everything. I wonder if somebody had ever mentioned that to me before. It was Scrun.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important, having the correct story, the right narrative, and being able to communicate that with everyone, with all the players, with all the community. That's really important, in my opinion.
There you go. Everything solved. Show over.
Oh, I wish everything was solved.
It's not.
I wish AI could solve this problem.
Right?
But it can't.
It can't yet.
By the way, I was using Perplexity as my search engine, and I think it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've used it a couple times. But so, what did you like most about it?
Well, that it's like taking the several sources, analyzing the content, like making a summary and explaining it. I think it's very very nice. I like the way the way it presents the results, and how it allows me to follow up on my search and keep on researching something until I get the information I wanted, or the knowledge I was looking for.
I like it. TC need to make a Launchbags referral QR code sticker for the back of the card. TC, if you make those, I would buy them. Just send me a URL. I got it. So Andre, moved to Spain. He's the guy building the merch app. For anybody that doesn't know, it's Top Merch. It's gonna be connected with crypto and NFTs and that kind of thing. I gotta hit him up again. He's like, okay, how close are you? Because again, like that would be amazing, right? If you had some way to order a t-shirt or a big car sticker from him that you just give him the URL for your thing, and it just makes a QR code. You slap that on the back of your car. Let's go.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty simple. I think we could have that even inside the Dapper app. Now that you mentioned that, can I print a QR code to have in my car, and like everybody on the street joining my stuff? That would be nice. I was also having the crazy idea of being able to sell merch, whether it is for rockets, for points, or for whatever, inside the app. That would be very cool. If you like something, some of an outfit, a logo, or whatever, and you want that t-shirt, it would be cool.
I mean, so they've got to have so TC's already planning on making that. So I mean, they've got sticker or merch fulfillment places, right? Obviously I'd love to go through Andre just because we know him and we'll see kind of where he's at with stuff, but like the whole idea
I think that's cool, but the problem of going through somebody else is that he won't it's very likely that he won't be able to release at the pace that we need and with the specifics that we need. For example, you have a nice Launchbags hat, right?
I do.
And for example, that's something that we could have embedded in the app and delivered to people who order it there and pay with rockets.
Well, and if they ordered a hat, obviously we send them a sticker with their QR code on it, because we would have that too.
Yeah, for example.
I feel like you're like deeply threatening me with a good time now. And really, like, what's stopping us then from, if there's a project that wants us to do it to get some free promo, right? Like, doing freaking AI God hats or whatever. It's like the more of that stuff that's out there, it's just better for the tokens anyway. And again, like you get a free QR code sticker with every order.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I feel very threatened with a good time. That's really good.
That's interesting.
That's fun. All right. Well, is it Wednesday yet?
It's Thursday.
I know.
Next sorry for that. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday is the release date, right?
Okay, yeah.
Wednesday you can start tapping, tap. Yeah.
Yeah, Shipple's planning on doing a big Shipple promo to celebrate the release too, which is kind of fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's good, dude. That bull Shipple's good, dude.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think later on today I'm going to start a doc just for you and me, or for the rest of the team or whatever, and see if we can map out like what's the most ridiculously fantastic possible thing that we could create combining all of these tools, and whatever future technology we think we could acquire really easily, right? That sort of like what's the most amazing potential endpoint for our long-term story, right?
Yeah, I think that's interesting indeed,
right? I mean, then it kind of helps us anyway. Like we have an idea of what we want that to look like, But I think the more time we spend with that dream, I think will not only have dividends because it helps us tell the story, but that it's also going to kind of direct our brainstorming and sort of help us to realize it. I keep thinking about like the Star Trek communicators back in the 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like in the 90s, those just came out, right? Like the flip phones were just like a thing, right? And they're so popular that even the screen ones are going back to this, right? So like that, the whole idea that you would have this communication that was completely impossible, when Star Trek initially came out, right? And just became a normal thing that we do, right? So like the whole idea of having like almost like a science fiction level vision for what's possible with what we're building, and then just have the drive to iterate and explore that until we achieve those things.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach indeed. That's a very interesting approach.
I should make a big launch bag sign, put it on my dock for all the boaters that go by. It's fucking funny. Yeah. I wonder if we should have even more, and we don't need this for launch, but like, so I think right now there's basically benefits up to the point where you have like 9 or 10 invites. And there's always like some points, anytime that, you get an invite, they get some points, you get some points, fine. Right. But like a month in, that amount of points is sort of, it becomes a little inconsequential, that amount of points compared to what you might be earning passively, right? Maybe even 6, whatever it is. But, having some kind of, if you hit, 15 or if you hit 20, and again, we can explore this till the end of time, right? Like we already solved it. So however many invites you get in any 2-week season, we can have like a bonus, right? For like whatever's going on in that 2-week season that's attached to how many invites you got in that state.
Invites are something that it's very limited. It's something that really works for new people, but if you have been playing for 2 months, you don't have new invites unless you start meeting people like crazy somewhere.
Well, and this is what
I'm going to invite you to this tapper, but that's not how life works.
Look at what TC's talking about doing. He's talking about putting a QR code on his dock, right?
That I agree. Yes.
So it's our job to give him a good reason for doing that. Right.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Right. So he's already got his 10 friends that are in or whatever, but he's still like kind of thinking like, hey, what if I put this thing on the back of my car? Or what if I put this thing on my dock or whatever? Right. So like it's this next 2-week season, he might have accidentally invited like 15 more people, making sure there's some kind of incentive structure for the super spreaders. That's a probably fucking terrible name for this, but like the people that want to do, more work to grind out, more invites. And again, like we'll figure that out, but I think it'll be something to think about as we go forward. And again, like that 1% of people might be like that, right? But that 1% will be responsible for 90% of our growth.
Let's hope so.
I mean, I'm just making up numbers. We get the idea. They'll be responsible for a non-trivial amount of our growth.
Yeah, no, but I get it. I get it totally.
Cool beans. Hashtag super spreaders. I am very sorry I said that. I mean, yay, we want things to go viral, but too soon? I don't know. All right, well, yeah, again, sorry guys that Russell couldn't make it today. Well, I'll have him rescheduled today. He's gonna be back in the next week or two, so we'll get that squared away. And I'm talking to Tuttle tomorrow about getting the launch bags season like for real money started tomorrow. We'll talk about that during the show. Yeah. And yeah, and then we'll just keep on keeping on until the cows come home.
Yeah, and remember, just in case we didn't set it enough, Launchbags Tapper is dropping next Wednesday.
And the more experience you have with Nefty Swap, the more experience you have with Nefty Blocks, the more experience you have with Wax on Edge. All of this is probably going to be good. And again, I know we're preaching to the choir, but it bears repeating. Somebody's watching this for the first time. all of these things are
Yes.
going to be very important. And again, like the tokens that are launched on launch bags, probably a good idea to figure out which ones of those are going to be active in the future, even for the next couple of weeks. Cough, cough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, will we have any guests from Flip Tribes on to kick off the new season? So I know I'm pretty sure Tuttle's going to be in the comments, but I'll see if she can come on the show. That'd be way more fun, just because she's awesome. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, Dennis might be around. He hasn't really been doing a whole lot on the Flip Tribes thing. It's really kind of Tuttle and me, and honestly, mostly Tuttle that's been building that. So I'll make sure she's around. Yeah. Just make sure you make the referral code one that can be copied. Yeah. I think even like having something that can generate a tiny URL and a QR code. I would be willing to bet that there's some open source software that we could find that we just do it.
You want an open source software to do what?
So I think making a referral code that you can be copied, which we already have in the app, right? You can go and copy your referral code. Sometimes those are a little bit long or ungainly or whatever, right? If you could turn it into a tiny URL, that's cool. Not essential by any means, but good for putting it out on social media. But if it could also like automatically generate you a QR code that you just like right click to copy that, and now you're putting it into like TC's talking about, he's putting it on my banner for my Facebook page, which for the record I'm totally going to do too.
That's something we should ask Jose. You should drop that in the Launchbags channel and ask him, because I think that would be very, very cool indeed. Yeah.
All right, let's write myself a little note.
I like that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to read any of those because we're still on air. Many crypto are sketchy on tiny URLs or bit.ly links. Just use standard. Well, I mean,
that's also true. Yes,
that's fair. But I mean, those same people aren't going to want to use a QR code either, for the same reasons, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, but we should have all the options. It doesn't mean that you should have only one option. You have your URL with everything in there, and you have your QR code if you want to do that, or you can generate a tiny URL, or even skip the tiny URL part. Just have the QR code and make sure that it's easy to share it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I like it. Either way, the whole idea that if we can offer all three options,
why not?
People can make their own decisions.
Why not?
Super smart. All right. Anything else you want to chat about before we break?
No. I think that we discussed a lot about the Tapper app, and we've been, as you said, fine-tuning things, and we will be still fine-tuning in the upcoming days. There was one thing also. I realized that the Real One mining season 1 ends in 5 days. So we'll be announcing what's next really soon.
Awesome sauce.
The problem is that it matches the launch of the mini app. So
this is just me. I think if you just say, okay, it ends then the next one's going to start the week after.
I think that's something like
people just need to
do. Yes.
Yeah, people just need to know. Like if they know, okay, the mining season starts then, I need to have XYZ R1 by then or whatever. Then at least people understand.
Yeah, and you also need the time to to unequip your betches and equip your betches again and do whatever needs to be done. So
got it.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So I guess that's it.
I mean, points. We're busy even in the bear market while everything is fucking dumpster firing. What else can we do? Maestro, good to see you, man. Would love to have you on again soon to chat, because you're rad as hell. Okay, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Wait a minute.